Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. How are you all doing? So today we are on Planet Coaster, which you can see. The quality is terrible for some reason and I really don't know why. But today we are making Thorpe Park in Planet Coaster. This is going to be a multiple episode series. This particular episode is going to be split into 2 or 3 parts because I've realised I've recorded it for 2 hours and speeding up by 400% has only taken it down to an hour. So we're going to have to put it into many parts. So as you can see, I have actually started recording a little bit late. I'd recorded quite a lot before that, but for some reason I just forgot to record. So I just made a lot. So as you can see now, I'm putting in the path for the front plaza, and just behind there is the car park and the main area where bikes go and all that. So for this series, for the first few episodes, I'm going to be making the entrance, I'm going to be making the car park and the main entrance and the security and all that. You should be able to see the security this episode. So yeah, just be aware that it's not all completely finished, and I will go back to it throughout the series because it looks horrible at the moment. There's a sign that I need to make, and the park looks tragic without the sign. So yeah, as you can see now, I'm putting in the fences for the main front gate sort of area just before the car park, and I'm just copying it over so I can easily do that. So just in there, there's going to be some greenage with some trees and bushes and all that. I spent a long time doing that. I don't think I've ever spent that long putting in trees and bushes and all that. But yeah, so this episode is going to be focused on the car park and security and all that. I don't think I was looking at the picture because I just kind of didn't really do the right thing. So yeah, later in the episode I will make the disabled entrance, which is to the left of the park if you're looking at it from the front, obviously. And I'm just adding the supports for the main build, like the entrance thing now. And now I've started to look at the entrance, so on Google Maps. So yeah. Of course, if you do have any suggestions for this series, please do let me know. This series won't be that interactive because, well, it can't be because I'm not really making my own park. It's all completely made from a real life park. So as you can see now, I'm just putting the supports going over the path. I haven't seen anybody do this. I actually had the idea from Digital Dan, who was making a video on making Colossus, I believe it was. And I thought that that looks quite cool. And I think he did mention something about making the Thorpe Park, so I decided to beat him to it. And yeah, hopefully this is going to look good. I am going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm expecting there to be at least 15 episodes, but there'll probably be more, considering from what I've planned so far, the first 3 episodes don't even get into the actual park. Like the first episode, as I say, is going to be based on the car park and the security area. Second episode is going to be the main entrance, and the third episode is going to be the dome, which is the main central point where everything is pretty much. So I don't expect any coasters to be built until I would say at least episode 7, to be fair. Maybe episode 6 if we're quick, but I don't want to do everything quickly. I want to do everything well. So hopefully it won't take too long, because I do really want to get onto building the coaster. Well, coasters. My first plan is to do the Swarm. I think that might be one of the easiest. Stealth is obviously going to be the easiest, but I think Swarm would probably be one of the easiest. Now we're just getting on to placing the bushes, and it takes me far too long to decide what bush I want to put in first. I keep thinking these are too big, and yeah. I really like the idea. I stole this idea, I can't remember who I stole it from, but with all the different types of bushes, put them in like different height. So I put some into the ground, put some above ground and all that. It looks really nice, I think. And you may think that I'm a bit mad for deciding to add some palm trees here, but actually there is some palm trees, I think. I'm not 100% sure what they are from the pictures, but they do look like palm trees to me. Each of these parts are going to be roughly 15 to 20 minutes, so I've got to try and figure out what I'm going to talk about for those 15 to 20 minutes, because I don't really know. I'm terrible at commentaries, I really am. So, yeah. Here I'm just putting into the bushes. I've decided to make them blue and white, or blue and light blue, to try and make it fit in with the colour scheme of Thorpe Park. Because they did change their logo this year, I believe, or last year, I can't 100% remember. But they did change it, and it's now more blue and more modern looking. If anybody is good at 3D editing, please let me know, because I do need somebody's suggestions. Or I need somebody to make me the Thorpe Park sign that goes on the front of this pillar thing that I'm making, because I can't leave it blank, and I can't 3D edit for my life. So anybody, just message me on Discord or on the comments. It doesn't really bother me. But I did ask my donators whether they wanted to have this today or the My Summer Car video, and they voted for this video. I was going to have to let them down and just say, sorry, I'm not very prepared with this one. I thought I was, but I'm not. But it turns out I'm actually less prepared for the My Summer Car video, which I was going to release today if I didn't think about the idea of asking the donators. I never actually finished the front of, I never finished the car park, so that will be done off camera, because it's just so boring, and it's not something that you want to see on camera. If you really do, I could make a very short video just going through it with some music in the background. But honestly, it's not something that you really want to. I have my confession to make. I do actually change where I change the entire thing of this park. I take a blueprint of everything that I've made, and then I take it over to a different world, because this one I realised by the time I finished making this entire entrance area, I'd taken up half of my area. So I actually took it to a flatter land in a scenario where I can edit the size of the park. So now it's something like 9,000 by 9,000 by 9,000. So I've got a lot more room to play with, and it doesn't take up half the park. I did also have to condense it down, but I'm going to leave that for part 3, because I think I'm going to do these in about 15 to 20 minute sections. So, yeah. As you can see in the background there's the car park with no markings on it whatsoever. I'm just starting to make security now. I'm just deciding what fence type looks nicest for the queue line. Obviously this will be completely dysfunctional when I'm actually using it with actual people in it, because there's no way of making security. And here I actually kept going off the screen to look for different hex codes for silver, and I never actually used a hex code because I'm not the most clever of people for that sort of stuff. So here it is. Here I am, just putting in the main fencing. These are the fences that take you through to the front main entrance. Don't ask me why I turned that around. These are the ones that take you around to the front entrance, where you go through those if you don't have a bag, so security don't need to check you. And then I'm just making the queue line now. I actually make the queue for the security very big, but you may think it's a bit too big, but actually the queue is huge for the park, for the security. It's absolutely insane. So now I've realised that I can actually be clever and just copy paste all of the queue line, which makes it a lot better, because I don't have to take 5 hours to do it every time. So as you can see, I'm just starting to get the walls now, which will be for the security shacks. They used to be 4 ticket offices, I believe, but the ticket offices have been moved beyond the security shacks now, and these obviously, as I say, have been turned into security shacks. Now I do actually really struggle with ideas to put stuff inside this, because I can't completely remember what goes in them, because I haven't been since I think it was the 21st of October, I think. So I can't remember really well, but I'm sure that it won't be too bad. I will end up putting the tables in, and I do have an idea for the future to put in an X-ray machine as well, because I know that you need one, or a metal detector more. I'm very tempted to add in some animatronics as well from the game, which will act as security. I think that might be quite cool. So I guess we'll see. I'm just adding the exits now and the gates, which get open and closed when the park's open and closed, to stop people going in and out of it. So yeah. Now I'm just deciding what I want to use as the tables. I searched table. I can't think of anything that's any good. So I actually use this wooden platform, which you would not expect to work as a table, but it works pretty well, to be honest. It looks very similar actually to the one that's actually in the park, which I think is quite nice. And somehow I don't notice that little bit of wood that's sticking out the bottom until much later on. I really don't know how I don't realise that, but apparently I don't. So I will end up fixing that in part 2, I think it would be. So now, as I said, I'm just putting on the roof, trying to figure out what looks nice. I can't really think of what goes well in this. I was really struggling, and this particular roof type, I just couldn't figure out what part I needed. But I do eventually fix that and work out what I need there, so that's good. But it does take me far too long to work that out. So at this point, I'm still deciding whether it looks nice or not, because I'm really not sure, but I think that looks alright, so that's good. You can see that I'm starting to put the lights in on the roof, but I decide that doesn't look very nice, so I do end up pushing a lower roof on it, which doesn't use the same sort of wood, but I actually don't think it looks bad for what it is, which is quite nice. So that's always good. I also don't think the lights would have actually reached the floor properly, because from what I can see there, that doesn't look like it's going to be any good, because I don't think I ever actually tested them. So had a bit of a struggle with the roof because it was just being a pain, but yeah, we'll put this in. Let me put the lights inside of that, and as I say, let me know if there's anything that I can add. Don't worry, there is still going to be more things that I'll add to the shacks and all that, because I'm well aware that this is very plain at the moment, so I will try and fix that up a little bit. So now, as you can see, I've moved on to the fences, which just stop people from getting past security easily. These are very similar to the ones in real life, and I finally realised that piece of wood. That was very annoying whilst I was watching that back. That was very, very annoying, I must admit. And then here, just going to add the open gates, because we want the park to be open, we don't want it to be closed. And don't worry, I will end up fixing that to make it a bit more even than it is, because I do see that those are very different. As you can see, I did find the air conditioning unit, but I must have lost that part of my video because I can't find it anywhere. But it wasn't in scenery like I thought it was actually in the building section, so I was looking in the wrong section for about 25 minutes, so that's good. And yeah, we're just putting these fences around just to make sure that it's all nice and secure. Adding the final few fences in there, just so no one can jump the security or get into the park, whatever. So guys, I'm now going to end the video here. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, leave a like and subscribe. It would mean so much. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could help with that, that would be massively appreciated. And yeah, as I say, this will be split into 3 different parts. So if you're hyped for the next one, make sure you smash that like button and see if we can get 5 likes before the next part is uploaded. So guys, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.